Hey guys, Valentine here. Today we're going to talk about scrummaging, specifically the back five, so our two locks and our loose forwards. I'm just going to start off by showing you a quick clip of one of Leinster's scrums. I just want you to take notice of their setup, their body height, and how square they are, and the lack of movement within their scrum as they hit and hold. Have a look at this and see what you notice, and just notice a bit of Dylan Hartley's commentary there as well at the very end of the clip.
Scrums have been an issue the whole way through. Dylan, have you picked up why there's an issue there?
Well, you've got 16 people pushing each other trying to gain ascendancy. You also got 6 up front all doing different things. What I've found interesting is Ruddock at the back is basically an armchair, and the strike of that ball, the way they play away, just not now.
Gibson Park is away. Gibson Park is going to do it all on his own. The gap opened up in front of him.
Awesome. So as you can see, if we've got a solid scrum, we've got a solid platform to attack from, and as you can see, Jamison was able to capitalise on a decent scrum and managed to turn the right way. So as Dylan said, you would have seen Reece Ruddock, he's on all fours, and he's basically looking like he's sitting in an armchair, or he looks like an armchair, should I say, nice and flat, nice and low, and he doesn't change posture, and it enables the ball to get through nice and cleanly with a clean strike, and they're able to score from there. So I've got a couple more clips there. One scrum from Leinster, I'll talk you through it. So we've got Caelan Doris at the back, again on all fours, same thing with the locks. They're on all fours, both knees down on the ground. All they've had to do is slightly pop up and then push through. They're really in a strong pushing position.
What he does is really, really important defensively. Lorimer just edging this way. Which way will Gibson Park go?
Again with the Munster scrum, locks it down.
So
CJ Standers at the back there.
Let's just say he's not shy.
Now he's a little high in the arse, but he's quickly dipped down and found that low, strong pushing position.
Demands a lot, does Casey.
Awesome. So today what I want to talk about is our scrum setup, and I also want to talk about what that strong pushing position looks like. So I've got a few clips to start us off with, but I want to talk about sort of the traditional orthodox approach to scrummaging. Traditionally, you usually have one leg up, and so I've got a wee clip here. Obviously you can see me, I've got the one leg up. Now the pros of that, it usually gives you a bit more balance because you can hold your own body weight over that leg. And it can give you a bit of a slingshot if you're trying to produce power into a scrum. Now the cons with that is that you have to get over that leg in order to push. So if I was saying fastest point from point A to point B, just be in a straight line. If I told you you had to go over a hill first and then got to point B, you would probably say it's a bit slower. It's generally slower. So we want to be able to go up nice and square and hit straight, as opposed to up and get over that leg, over the hill, and then go forward. What we're going to do here is we're going to go into another clip on how to get up from your knees to your 2 feet, right? So we're starting on both knees. We're trying to minimize that movement. We don't want to go over the hip. We want to go in a straight line from point A to point B. So in order to do that, we'll start on both knees. Now the first thing I'm going to say is be balanced and be symmetrical, right? If we're symmetrical, it gives us consistency, and it enables us to figure out where we could improve or where we've gone wrong if we do not execute it as well as we'd like to. So be symmetrical, be balanced, and then be really strong in our binds. So in this particular video, we're not talking about our binds, but I do need to keep that in mind because it's super important. And when it comes to anchoring ourselves and being balanced, they're the things that'll help us. So this little drill here, we can start on both our knees. Like I said, we want to keep that symmetry. And you see that I've got all my body weight that's loaded over the balls of my feet. All I'm doing is going to elevate myself by pushing my hips back and rocking back onto the balls of my feet. So it takes a bit of practice. It's not actually the easiest or most comfortable thing to do to start with, and we're just working on that flexibility in our hips. So it will take a bit of getting used to. Trying to make sure that we don't push past through the wall, or you have to put your hand out and make sure you don't put your face into the wall. But you just keep getting used to that. So from our knees, we want to load all of our weight over the balls of our feet, make sure it's under us at the start. We sit back and then rock back onto the balls of our feet by pulling our hip backwards. Rep that for 3 or 5 reps. Once you've got comfortable with that, then we want to look at the next movement, which is finding that strong pushing position. I've talked to you in the past in training when it comes to scrummaging, tackling, and in rucks and mauls. We want to find that bi-articular line, as Jason Ryan says from the Crusaders. That's the line between your shoulder to your toes and intersecting it perfectly with your knee. If it comes to like squatting or deadlifting, it's always that 3/4 position when you're giving the most energy and you're the strongest point of your lift. So here's a couple of examples. I just want to put a few squats in here just so you can see what I'm talking about and you can relate to it. So finding that strong position, what does it look like? So we're at the bottom of our squat there. It's a full squat, as you can see. Then I'm going to go up and I'm going to try and find what strong looks like, it feels like. Strong, like I said, is that 3/4 position. So it's not at the bottom because you're too compressed, your legs are under you. And it's just above that when you come up. That middle pause. So from the side here, like I said, it's just that middle pause where you're just above that knee bend, that biarticular line. A really easy way to figure that out just in your bodyweight squat is actually just hanging your arms down in front of you. If you're pointing at your toes and your knees are just perfectly touching it, that's perfect. I've got a wee exercise where you find that strong position in the squat formation, just standing. Then you can put your arms out, fall forward, and that's the scrummaging position that we want to get to when we've engaged after the set. So here I've got a little safety belt on. Like I said, found that 3/4 position, that strong position. Knees are, feet are shoulder width apart. I've got my hands down, just falling forward, and that there, as you can see, is the scrummaging position I want for our back 5 players in the full back. So in here, just see I've got that little extension with the small feet chasing. We can get into that a little further on when we get back to training. So like I said, just get used to that position. Find what strong looks like. Flat, nice and flat back. Get that biarticular line between your shoulders and your toes going. I want to wind that and put that together. So here I'm going from my knees, rocking back onto my feet nice and balanced. And when you call set, I'm engaging as if we're in a scrum. Rock back, nice and solid. If you don't have stretchy bands or weights at home, you can do this just with a beanbag or a couch. Same principle, as you can see, I'm solid there, I'm trying to become like a table. So small movement, I'm already in that strong position and I'm just going straight. No need to go over the hill like we said at the start. One more. As you can see, I've probably hit a little bit low here. The table's on a bit of a lean. You don't want a glass rolling the wrong way. So there's a couple of really simple drills to try out at home in terms of our hip flexibility and our balance, and then trying to find that strong position. So remember that when you're doing your home workouts, when you're doing your squats, if you're lucky enough to have weights and being able to work out like that, think about what does the gym exercise and what does it do to your body and how does it relate to the rugby field.